Not all the dead rot in the ground. Some are still among us, walking, drifting through life, closed off, untouched. Theirs is a colorless vista, a world of never ending gray, muffled sounds, evanescent aromas, barely noticed touches, pale flavors. Most of the time, this is self imposed, the veil of color, light, and sound that is passion withdrawn, folded, tucked away in some dusty nook, usually out of fear. Out of fear that the wonders of the world will overcome us. The excitement, joy, love are too powerful, too dangerous, too precarious to be fully embraced. We wear our scars as armor when we should wear them as badges of honor, for they scream to the world, I have seen the worst you have to offer, and I am still here. Or we do it out of fear of discovering who we truly are. We stack masks upon masks, all in an attempt to hide our true selves from the world, for fear that this true self will be rejected. It should be for a world that demands this to feel shame, not for us. Or perhaps it is out of fear that we do not deserve it. This world of music, poetry, kindness, tenderness. Not for I, we whisper, and it will certainly be taken away at first light. Best not to become accustomed to it, attached. And so the pallor of winter settles over the landscape, leaches heat from our bones and our hearts. Passion eludes us. Purpose fails us. And we drift, gray, slumbering gods, in search of a spark to remind us who we are and what we are capable of. The wolves are approaching. Slowly, not specifically menacingly, but they are wolves, and there is 20, 30 of them. They are all hunched very low, moving quietly, but they approach this vast mass with these glinting eyes on either side of the pool, coming towards where three of you plus all the other attendees of the cocktail party are wondering what the hell's going on, what's happening. Darius, as you have moved in front of DeeDee and Kimberly to offer protection, you have noticed Damien coming up along the pathway on a horse. Damien's on a horse. There's blood, it seems, covering Damien. I would like to ask, what do you do?
I look at DeeDee and Kimberly and I say, okay, it looks like we've just found Damien and he's surrounded by wolves.
Oh goodness.
I got it. And I just walk out the door. And I immediately walk out the door. I don't know if anyone in the room even attempts to stop me. They're not capable. I barrel right through the crowd. If anyone tries to stop, they get moved to the side gently, but forceful enough for them to know, like, I shouldn't have tried that if they do get in my way. And then I just walk out the door and I'm like, Damien? Buddy, you're covered in blood. Let's address the elephant in the room. You're out here looking like a metal Old Spice commercial. I'm doing my best not to make eye contact with the wolves right now, because hopefully they'll just kind of fuck off now that more people are coming out. But danger abound.
I want to say the wolves don't seem to be wanting to go anywhere. They're approaching, but I will also say, Kimberly and DeeDee, as Darius has moved and he's kind of skirted the pool and gone down a little pathway to the side, and I would say he's kind of halfway up, and Damien's coming up on the horse, and the wolves are there. They've all kind of turned and are staring in the direction of Darius. They seem to be waiting for something. Damien, you do feel approaching somewhere this kind of dark, menacing presence that you encountered earlier. The man or whoever he was who shot the wolf, you kind of pick up his scent. You know that he's somewhere around watching, moving. I'm going to go
And
around and sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't think Damien has responded at all to attempts to talk to him. Like, I think he is clearly fully dissociated. But when he starts to feel that presence nearby, you just see his head kind of snap to the side, trying to see if he can suss out where that figure is. And you might even hear him say to himself, "No, you said I had until dawn. You said I had until first light."
What is Darius doing? I'll go around the table here and see what everyone wants to do. So what is Darius doing in this moment?
Does this pack of wolves look similar to the ones I spotted earlier? Do I
Yeah, you get the sense it's them. You recognize the leader.
the one that I had to stare down with?
Yeah, and in fact, if you wanted, give me a empathy and insight roll.
Oh boy. Empathy, you say. Ah, yes. The things that I made my worst. Nope.
No sixes?
3 and a 4.
You're pretty sure. You're very confident it's them, yeah. And now you notice they're all looking at you.
I meet the gaze of the one I suppose is the leader.
You see him staring at you, and his head swivels slowly and takes a look at Damien, and then looks at you again, and then looks at Damien again. He doesn't seem on edge. Like, he literally is like, you know that when someone walks into a room, they've just, woken up or something, they walk into a room, they see people there, and they're kind of stretching and looking around and just kind of taking in the scene. That's what the wolf looks like he's doing. He's just kind of taking in the scene.
They're not attacking.
No.
I'll slowly start to approach
the
wolves then.
Let's go up to the lodge then. DeeDee and Kimberly, what are you doing? So I'll just tell you, sir, what's going on around you. People are kind of, this is strange and it's dangerous, but everyone's just kind of standing there staring ahead, just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen.
In all honesty, Kimberly is probably doing the same thing. She just saw one of her acquaintances just walk out to check on her other acquaintance, and now is walking towards the wolves. Like, she doesn't really know what to do. She's small. Does she notice Damien swivel like an owl and like look in like off into the distance?
Go ahead and give me a wits and vigilance.
Okay.
Whilst you're doing that, DeeDee, what are you doing?
I think I'm a little torn, right? I don't want to get too close to all that. There's a lot going on outside, but I also don't want to lose track of what's going. So I think even moving to the door, propping it open, kicking down part of what's going to be like the little foot, right, and leaning up against the frame, and just watching, keeping an ear out kind of on both sides of the fence at this point.
Okay, and what did you get with your roll, Kimberly?
I got a 2 and a 9. So a 9 is the higher one.
Excellent. So, yeah, you would definitely notice that. You also notice, as you kind of move your head and try to see what's going on outside, to see that Damien's got a head on a swivel. You also notice that Dr. Keegal is not staring at what's going on outside, but is staring at you.
Am I getting the impression she's watching for my reaction, or just like by happenstance?
No,
Was
you get
looking
you
in
get
my
the feeling she's
direction.
kind of studying you.
I think I would approach her then. Yeah, I think I would walk up to Dr. Kegel. Kind of
As you
inquisitive.
approach her, she'll say, "Quite a strange happening."
Yeah, is this normal? Um I mean, Damien is like a an animal whisperer, but I wasn't expecting that many wolves.
You think Damien brought them here?
I don't really know what to think. I mean, maybe. I mean, Darius is honestly being kind of reckless. I'm assuming they're friendly. Damien brought them. I don't know. I don't know do you know what's going on?
I'm afraid I don't.
Ah,
What do you think, DeeDee?
Looking over my shoulder. Huh? What? Sorry.
We were simply wondering if perhaps Damien or Darius had brought the wolves here.
Don't see how it matters much who brought them here. Probably should just get them going.
that's an excellent idea. Wasn't there is there like a pest control we can call, or hunters? We're in the woods. Maybe there's like some really nice gentlemen who can come and just like herd them away.
Speaking of pest control and a very nice gentleman, um, Damien outside, you sense his presence. You sense a hesitation. Like maybe there's something he wasn't expecting.
Like, for a moment, I thought you said that I would see Bill, and I was very excited. And then you said what you said, and I'm not excited.
Oh, Bill's around. Don't worry, Bill's around. And speaking of speaking of Bill, my own private Bill, Insomnia Knight, has given Darius a advantage. So from my good friend Insomnia Knight, you have an advantage. What would you like to do, Damien? You see that Darius is approaching the wolves.
You know, I think what I would like to do, thanks to Miss Kimberly, is I would just like to have a vibe check and like see what I'm feeling here. Both with Darius approaching the wolves, but also with the figure that I can sense hesitating.
Give me an empathy and insight roll.
I would love to.
You do have observant, so if you decide you wish to push it, you could get out of getting a condition.
All right, that is a 10 on a D10.
Oh, that's excellent. So that's a double success, critical success. All right, you sort of just take a moment, focus yourself. Very quickly, all you feel beneath you is the horse. Just mass of muscles, and it's calm. It's sitting there waiting. And when you feel that the horse is calm, you get the feeling that the wolves are probably not threatening. You get the sense that they are likewise waiting for something. And they all seem to be staring at Darius, and Darius is approaching them. You don't pick up immediate threats from the man with the gun. You get the feeling that there's something going on that he wasn't prepared for, and is kind of receding a little bit. So you think it's probably fairly safe on that level. The one thing that kind of draws your attention is this meeting that's apparently about to happen between a pack of 30 odd wolves and Darius, who is approaching like, you know, you've never seen someone approach 30 wolves before in your life.
In which case, I think Damien would just call out to Darius and just ask, "Hey, do you know what you're doing?"
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
I've met this wolf before.
We don't have time to unpack all of that.
You were talking to an iguana earlier today. Don't start with me.
It was talking back.
What? We don't have time to unpack all of that, he says as he's still getting closer and closer.
So you approach the wolf, and as you do, it sits down a little bit and just kind of looks at you. Up close like this, it seems a little scrawny, to be honest. It looks a little bit like, you know, it would be hungry, lean and hungry, but it's still not doing anything other than waiting for it. But it keeps looking over at Damien also.
Hey, Damien,
Yeah.
can you, if the iguana was talking back to you, will the wolf talk back to you? I'm gonna lean full into Crazy Town right now. Let's just go for it.
Sure. I can try to talk. You know, the iguanas seem different, but yeah, I could try to talk with the wolf. What do you want me to ask?
What's up? What like what's happening? What's going on? Like, why 30 of you gathered here? You know, the usual you would ask a wolf pack in front of you that just let this man approach them. Look, I'm weirded out now. I'm keeping it pretty cool right now. I am freaking out within. Just ask the question.
I will ask. Yes, I'll ask the question. Hey, buddy, what's up? What's going on?
The wolf looks at you. The pack grows.
Okay. What do you want?
He looks over at Darius. Tell him he must come with us.
Darius, I don't know how to say this, but he wants you to come with them. He says you must.
I have to.
The wolf looks at you again. Jehonahe Datsa is dying. Your friend must come. Sichin Sin. That is where he will find us.
And Damien will repeat all of that verbatim. Because he doesn't know what any of that means, and he does not want to lose anything in translation.
Does any of that make any type of sense to Darius on any level?
Does Darius speak Navajo?
Nah, he's a black dude from from New Jersey.
He speaks Navajo, but in a New Jersey accent.
Right. You know what? I already said I'm leaning full into this. Relay that I will find them, and I am a man of my word. Unless I'm literally following them right now. If that's what I need to do to make sure everyone else is safe, I will get them away to lead everyone else to safety.
Tomorrow, when the moon is
Tomorrow.
high.
Sorry, I don't understand what
You
we're
know,
saying.
tomorrow when the moon is high. And if you can, leave the shadow of death behind.
Before
Jahona
Damien,
awaits him.
Damien does not immediately relay that because he does ask one final question, and that is simply, are you going to hurt him?
The wolf gets up, looks over his shoulder. The other wolves start to move. Not likely.
Damien,
Indeed.
buddy, I'm in the dark here. What's happening? All I'm hearing is weird growls from both sides.
And Damien does relay that final part of the message.
All right, tomorrow, when the moon rises, I go meet a pack of wolves to help assist in another wolf that is dying somehow. My mom wanted me to go to veterinary school. All right, full circle moment. I will meet. I say this to the wolf. I will be there when the moon rises. Hopefully one of you comes to lead me, to show me the way, because I've never been to Arizona in my life.
The wolf looks at you, Damien, and says, tell him that's not true. With that, they turn around. And slowly all of you see the wolves, almost like this one big mass, slowly start to make their way out. Outside the little area where the lodge is, then disappear into the forest.
Darius, what you just said there, the wolf said that I have to tell you that that's not true.
Okay. That might as well also be a thing because people are talking to. I need alcohol. Darius. I mean, not Darius. Damien.
Ha ha!
Buddy.
You were doing it to trick me and you tricked yourself.
Damien. You're on a horse and you're covered in blood.
Yeah, yes, I am.
I highly recommend you do not go inside with the group right now. I recommend you
agree.
take a shower. And where did you get the horse?
The field. I got the horse in the field.
You stole a horse?
Is it stealing if they want you?
I'd say you found him, and when you look, you see Grayson's approaching. You found Arvaker.
Apparently, yes. Hi.
He comes over. The horse seems to recognize him right away. He pats. You do see that the tattoo on his hand matches very closely. And he, where you been? I was afraid for you. And he, gives the good boy the scritches. Thank you. He has a bad habit of doing this.
Picking up riders?
Not so much. In fact, it's kind of a new thing, and it's kind of impressive. My name's Grayson, and he extends a hand.
Damien takes it.
You appear to be covered in blood. I don't know if you knew this or if it's just part of the
I'm
aesthetic.
so sorry. No, I'm so sorry.
Is it yours?
I don't no, I don't think so. I think it's the wolves.
Okay, I was gonna ask, did you kill a guy? Okay. Or person in general.
No, why would you ask that? I've never killed. Why would you think I would kill someone?
Because you're covered in blood, Damien. Like a lot. My first thought was not this scrawny 21-year-old murdered a wolf and got covered in its blood. That was not my first thought.
No, I didn't murder the wolf. I didn't murder the wolf. I couldn't hurt anyone.
This is a conversation that I need to have with alcohol. Preferably when you are not covered in blood.
Take our Vodka back if you want. I'll take him back to the corral for you. Are you okay?
Yeah, No, I'm not. I don't know why I just said yes.
Yeah, I think that this is probably the better answer. You probably need to get some sort of expert to look at, and I don't mean an expert like a psychologist. I mean like a doctor or, but you know what I mean. I'll just take our vodka back if that's okay.
Of course, hopefully we can meet again at some point in the coming days without the blood.
Or the wolves, preferably, also.
Yes.
Honestly, the wolves seemed cool.
I guess they did. What did you do? Talk to them and then they left?
No.
My natural aura of machismo just made them run away. No, I don't know what happened. They were just kind of calm and they just left. The first part was a joke. I don't really do toxic masculinity like that.
Okay, I'm so happy you cleared that up. Come on, Arvaker. And he starts walking away and he turns around and he says, I'm usually down at the equestrian center. And for what it's worth, and he pats the horse on the top of the head, I think some things would be worth killing for. And then turns around and walks away with the beautiful Harvaker.
He fully walks away. I go, Damien, are you gonna fuck that guy? What the hell was that?
What guy? I was looking at the horse. Meanwhile,
yeah, Damien just turns beet red in response to that.
Just no tact. Just zero tact.
As you're experiencing this moment of bonding, brotherly bonding, inside, Dr. Kegel says, I think perhaps your friends may require a gentler touch. I would think that they've had a bit of an evening. Would you do me a favor, Kimberly? Would you go to them and see if they're okay? I worry especially about Damien. He's very young and still very fragile, and without, well, as you know, his grief stems from the loss of a horse. And I'm just worried that perhaps tonight might have reopened some old wounds. Would you be so kind as to go and talk to him?
Yeah. Absolutely. Wow. I don't know what just happened. And she's just gonna storm, kind of pull herself together a little bit, teacher mode. Like, what are these young men doing? And is gonna like walk right up to them, with a little bit of like authority in her step. What are the two of you doing?
I fully about face and stand straight up, just from an authoritative figure like being behind me. I'm just like, oh wait, I'm not enlisted anymore. What do you mean?
What do you mean? You just walked right up to like 30 wolves.
Yeah.
Were you thinking? Were there thoughts?
It's not even the most dangerous thing I've done at all in my life.
Well, it's the most dangerous thing I've ever seen you do. So don't do it again.
You've missed out on some bits, Miss Kimberly.
We'll unpack that later. And you!
Me?
Are you okay?
No, no, I'm not.
Dr. Kegel is very worried about you.
I was going to say, is she, but I'm covered in blood, so yes, I'm sure she is.
Yeah, and it's not yours, right?
No, it's not mine.
Okay.
And it's not a human's either. It was a wolf.
Somehow that's worse. Somehow. I don't...
I mean, yes.
At least it wasn't the horses. Sorry, sweetie, but at least it wasn't the horses.
No, the horse is fine.
Yeah. And the really nice gentleman?
Yes, he's fine.
Yeah, okay.
And Darius is behind Damien, just going like, just thumbs up behind Damien.
We're not done with you. We're not.
I didn't
Relax.
do anything wrong.
Nothing?
No, never.
30 wolves. Not
What
a
about
single
'em?
thing.
I'm fine.
Are you, though?
Of everyone here, I think I'm the most well put together, honestly.
I don't think you're wrong.
It's debatable.
No offense,
but
Miss Kimberly.
no, we'll let it slide.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Inside, I am freaking the fuck out right now.
Okay,
But-
so you're not okay.
No, I'm okay. I can deal with it.
That's not what the retreat is about, though.
That's wolves.
Oh my goodness.
It's a different thing altogether. All right. If it was 30 lions, okay, maybe I'd be more freaked out in front of you.
I
Oh,
feel
30
like the jump from lions to wolves it's not that far.
I met those wolves before. They were cool. I recognized the pack
Wait.
leader.
This wasn't the first time?
They
No,
were friends?
No, I met them. No, I saw them earlier today. I had a brief stare down with the pack leader, the one that I approached initially.
Oh, also, it looked like you were talking to them.
Nah, I can't talk to animals.
I thought you said you weren't an animal whisperer.
I think he's just an animal guy.
Yeah,
I
I
re-
just like animals.
He's got the soft touch. He knows how to do it. He knows the animal psychology. He's an Ace Ventura of animals, if you will. He just has the touch.
I don't know that I would go that far.
I'm sorry, are you walking back or have you stopped where
Yeah.
you are?
I don't know if Kimberly is letting us move or not.
Yeah, I feel like Kimberly's keeping us in
I
place.
feel like, yeah.
We're
I
definitely
feel like this is a full-blown interrogation. like we're standing in a circle.
like
outside
she's not my mom, but I feel like my mom just cornered me and I'm 12 years old and I definitely did the thing, but I'm not understanding why I'm in trouble.
So let me just go to Alex then for a second. DeeDee, as you're standing there
Huh.
watching all of this unfold, you watch Kimberly go down there, intercept them. People are starting to kind of like, form little groups and whisper and talk and wonder what the hell went on. You hear, that's strange. That doesn't happen all the time.
Say,
It's not
even though
normal.
I I can't hear, I imagine, the distance at this point. I can tell body language at the very least. I am thoroughly amused that whatever's going on down there, and I am not involved. I am not being lectured. It's a good change of pace. So I've been sitting there kind of giggling to myself, watching that play out. Catching that, though, I kind of look over my shoulder. Saying that doesn't happen very often around here, huh?
No, I even say, it's a new thing. It's not something happened before.
Never. Not once.
No, I remember one year there was infestation of raccoons. There's like 50 of them, but not wolves. Raccoons, they look for food. They come over. They root around your trash can. They, eat a little bit if you throw the stuff out, and then they go. Wolves, I imagine, probably a bigger problem if they want to be.
Well, I thought y'all were taking care of all this.
Oh, I'm trying. It's not easy. A lot of wolves. Well, to be honest, we thought maybe there was like 4 or 5 of them. I think maybe we undershot a little.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge. Would you like another cocktail?
Yes, please. That'd be mighty kind.
Will your friends like cocktails?
I look over and I nod. Yes, I think they absolutely will be wanting a drink after this.
Here. He puts a bunch of drinks together. You take it to them. I'm tired. I got to pick up around here. You take it to them.
You've done enough, Bill. Thank you.
It's good. It's good.
I imagine there's a tab or something being like put on the hotel room. Something.
There's no bill on there, so you're thinking maybe it's
yeah.
It's kind of an open bar thing, maybe.
All inclusive.
All inclusive.
I like it.
Yeah. Wolves and grief included.
But I'll go ahead and take the drinks out and get at least probably a good earshot of whatever was being discussed. I come bearing a peace offering.
Oh,
thank God.
DeeDee, you can talk some sense into them.
I immediately just reach for what looks like whiskey.
What sense needs to be talked?
To not just go walking up to a bunch of wolves?
I didn't walk up to a bunch of wolves.
You are covered in blood, however.
The blood...
That wasn't my fault.
What happened?
There was a wolf, and it was trying to hurt one of the horses. And so I got in the middle. I don't know why I did that. Why would I have done that?
Listen, him, I understand his whole business about being shot at and whatnot. You, however, not necessarily.
No,
strike me as a sort.
I saw that the horse was in danger, and I had to do something.
I understand that feeling.
Thank you, Darius. Thank you.
You want a job?
Do I have to carry a gun?
Never mind.
You said we're like by a pool, right?
Yeah.
As we continue to have this conversation, it seems like we're not moving anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and kick off my heels and sit at the pool and put my feet in and enjoy my drink. It seems as much sense as I'm willing to contribute to the situation.
And as you sit down on the side of the pool and put your feet in, the conversation keeps going around. You look down, and it's very strange because they seem to have you don't know if it's like some sort of special effect or a light thing, but there's kind of like shadows, almost kind of like there's fish moving or something, but obviously there's no fish in there, and you're just kind of watching that, and it's a little bit sort of hypnotic, almost like these kind of swirling patterns, and then something grabs both your feet and pulls you all the way into the pool. You get pulled right off the side, and right down into it, and you're being dragged down, and the water is dark and it's cold, and you're being pulled down. You're being pulled down into this water, and the water's just starting to fill your mouth, fill your nose, fill your, and then you're back sitting there on the side of the pool.
Feet out immediately. 2 chests.
I'm so glad you ended it with you're back on the side of the pool, because I was about to dive into the water.
No, the lot of you didn't say she sat down, put her feet in the water, and then just kind of jerked back.
Cold.
Say that. I might have had too many beverages.
I think we all just should retire for the night, go get some sleep. It was a lot of activity, but take a shower maybe. I think that you'd probably feel better wiping off. I think we all need a refresh.
I mean, I'm good. Like, I'm good.
You just told me you're not good on the inside.
That's
think-
over now.
Oh, Darius, are you not good on the inside?
I locked that away. Tiny little boxes. Add it to the list of scary things I've done, and then eventually it'll go away.
Is that how that works?
For me, it does.
So you will, I guess, perhaps Damien, go and try to get the blood off of you.
Yes, Damien would like to no longer be drenched in blood.
The rest of you will spend the rest of the evening trying to gather your emotions back, perhaps have a few drinks. People start to, as you return, people are starting to kind of, move out, leave the room. Dr. Keegal's gone by the time you return. Just in the interest of moving on here a little bit, is there anything you would like to do before you all turn in for the evening, or is there someone you want to talk to or anything like that?
I very distinctly had a meeting at 9:30. It's part of the reason why I'm trying to keeping it together. I'm internalizing the fact that I just walked down some wolves, and I don't want to think about how stupid that was. So if 9:30 comes around and said meeting does not happen,
9:30 has come around, and in fact, by the time you sort of look at your watch again, it's 10 to 10.
Well, it was supposed to happen in the room we were in, so that ain't happening.
What about the rest of you?
I think Kimberly will just like politely say her goodnights and then go back to the room onto her laptop and immediately write an email to Dr. Keegal with the information that she learned. And just kind of at the end, like, can't wait to have our one-on-one tomorrow, where she can unpack all of this. And then she'll probably try to retire for the night.
DeeDee.
Sorry.
Or no, please, good.
I was gonna say Darius would ask DeeDee. I'm just like, you did look a little freaked out when you got by the pool. Are you okay?
Had a little episode. Nothing to worry about, I don't think. Just ever just feel like you're drowning?
I just approached 30 wolves.
I'm not sure if those are the same feelings, but at least it seems like we're all experiencing something unique and new, which I don't think was advertised.
If you mean just well, I don't know. Actually, in approaching the 30 wolves, had an intense shock of adrenaline in my system. I think feeling like you were drowning. Was it a sense of dread that you're trying to describe?
No, like literal drowning, where I was pulled underwater, whole mouth darkness. It was not my favorite.
I had a type of training that simulated that feeling.
gonna pat your arm. You're trying so hard there. Appreciate it. Don't worry about it. We'll be fine.
I'm taught a lot of things. How to help someone mentally is not one of them. And I apologize for that. I'm good at protecting, and I'm good at hurting things.
No need to apologize. You're
and the
fine.
third one is looking good all the time. The last one was a joke.
Haha. You done made it funny.
I'm trying to bring levity here. It was a scary situation. I'm trying to bring levity. If someone doesn't try, we're all just going to end up getting lectured by Kimberly, and I don't think any of us will survive that.
This one's quite terrifying when she gets some mind to it.
Good Lord, I felt like I was in the 6th grade.
She is a principal. Makes sense.
She has this Miss Frizzle vibe going on at all times, and then suddenly it was the Trunch Bowl. I thought I was going to get put in the chokey. My God. She's such a small person, but I felt like she could have body slammed me in that moment. I know she couldn't, but a part of me felt like she would have and could have.
Saying we should be more afraid of her than of you, then.
Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure that's what I heard, though. I'm gonna go ahead and start walking back inside. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to meet up with somebody in regards to that negotiation tonight, or if that was a tomorrow thing. I didn't have it in my notes either which way.
You realize it's almost midnight. Everyone's gone.
And what do you mean?
Place is empty.
What? People have normal sleep schedules? No, come on, party's just starting. Looking around, realizing that not everyone subscribes to that philosophy. I guess I'll retire.
Darius?
When my failed attempt at flirting / levity fails, I go to bed.
It's hard. Someone just felt like she was drowning. It's not your fault.
It's hard to get back from that.
He did his best at levity, at least.
At levity, capital L levity.
Levity. That's what the stream is brought. It's brought to you by the letter L. The levity.
So you end up finding your way back to your rooms after the events of the day. Everything's kind of been weird. You feel like you're in some sort of strange dream or whatever is going on. You lay down and go to bed. Damien, you have strange dreams, Damien. You find yourself tossing and turning most of the night. You see, again, Arvaker out in the distance. You try to approach him, but as you do, something starts to crunch under your feet. When you look down, you see wolf skulls, just hundreds and hundreds of wolf skulls just littering the entire land. You see off in the distance the man with the gun and the dark hood approaching the horse. Darius, you will have the exact same dream that night as you lay there in your bed, unhappy with your failed flirtations. You will find yourself walking and stepping on these wolf skulls sort of littered everywhere. And when you look up, you see Damien off in the distance looking at a horse. And when you look up at the sky, you see this dark shape that is moving slowly, almost about to obscure the sun. Kimberly, your dreams have a little bit of a deja vu flavor to them. You are walking in the desert. You come across those 3 dancers again. They introduce themselves as was, is, and shall. They ask you where you're going. You're not too sure. You say that you've kind of lost the way. You're not sure where you're going. Could they help you out? And one of them says, I know where you've been. And the other one says, I know where you're going. And the third one says, but I know where you are. And she turns you around and you see just ahead of you a field of black crosses laid out in the desert. That strange woman is there again. The woman wearing black with the black hair, with the strange tattoos, the strange marks. And she turns around and she looks at you and she says, I've been waiting for you. It's time for you to become. Alex, you wake up. It's dark. It's silent. Just outside your door, you hear something. It's Darius's voice. He's talking to someone.
I'll get up and open the door.
You open the door, and outside your room is the bar. And at the bar, you see Damien and Darius talking. They're having a drink together. Damien is covered in blood from head to toe. There is a statue, kind of a bronze statue of a horse next to him, and he keeps putting his hand on it and patting it as him and Darius are having a discussion. They're laughing, having a good time, bonding.
Kind of cautiously approach at this kind of surreal scene. Apologize if I'm interrupting. Is there room for one more?
So as you approach and you say that, they kind of both look at you, and then their demeanors change a little bit. And then it's hard to tell what they're talking about, but suddenly their demeanors change. They look at you, and then they look at each other. And then it sounds like Darius is scolding Damien. And Damien looks like he's getting angry. Somewhere off, you hear like the sound of something crashing and breaking. There's a siren that's blaring off in the distance. People are screaming. It's very strange. There's strange dissonant music playing. You look over, there's a piano there, but it sounds like a violin that's out of tune. It's just really, really strange. And when you turn around, you look at Darius and Damien. They're screaming at each other, but there's no sound coming from their mouths. Everything is silent. It's just anger, screaming at each other, pointing, and then Darius draws a gun and shoots Damien right in the face, right in front of you. Damien's entire head just blows off. There's blood everywhere. Then Darius turns to you and he says, I had to do it. He was going to swallow the light. And then he levels his gun at you. You wake up. You're outside, standing in whatever dress you went to bed in. You're in this strange, weird temple. It's kind of cold. You can feel the cold desert night air on your skin that's clammy. The temple you're in is strange because it's got this big opening at the top in this strange sort of hexagonal shape. And when you look up, you can clearly see the stars and the moon up there. And you're just standing there shivering. You realize you're in one of the two sort of strange structures that are at the end of the pool, a bit further down where the hotel is.
Well, shoot. Can kind of like hold self close. I imagine it's chilly out. And taking a look around, and kind of that way when you wake up in a hotel room, right? And you're trying to gather where you are, trying to get those pieces together. But it's like 10 times worse because holy cow, I didn't even really get a chance to be here last time. Taking the pool in, that's kind of the bracing point, like maybe looking for a window or a door, like, oh no, I'm getting my landmarks, and nodding slowly. Going to quietly, slowly make my way back in, hoping I brought my hotel key, or there's not one of those doors that needs a key to get back in.
You hear a voice from the shadows that says, I was counting on you not being here.
Pardon me.
You turn around, you see this fellow standing there in the shadows, um, almost kind of nondescript, I want to say, to a certain point, just a man in a suit with a little very standard sort of corporate haircut, if you will. I will put on the map here. So if you look at the map that's on the Albert, you find yourself in what would be the Tower of Utu there.
Mhm.
And this is the man that's...
Gotcha. I'm sorry. Have we met before?
Quite often.
Names, faces, they all kind of blur together with what I do. Apologies.
Well, let's just say that you carry me in your filthy mouth almost daily.
Excuse me.
What are you doing here?
I'm here for a retreat. What are you doing here?
I'm just here trying to make sense of things.
You ever answer straight?
Well, straight as I can, but you know what they say. You can make numbers say anything. You wake up, you're in your room. The bed covers are on the ground, you're covered in sweat. The fan is moving very, very slowly. You hear outside in the hall someone vacuuming.
What time is it?
Early in the morning, like 8:30ish.
Well, I'm partly inclined to leave room. I think going to take a moment. Twofold. One, going to go ahead and start a getting ready regimen. I only have parts and pieces of my skincare routine. I thought I packed more. I definitely didn't. I did not bring my blow dryer, which means I have to use the hotel blow dryer, which is going to take its own process and takes forever.
And the second you plug it in, there's this loud pop and you see this flash of fire in the plug, and it kind of starts going up a little bit along the wall, and then it peters out, and there's just a smell of burnt wood and plaster and paper.
Go to the phone. Hopefully Bill's awake.
When you go to the phone, there's a little light blinking on it that says you have a message.
Oh, by all means, check that message.
It is from Cal Olivier, who asks if you have had time to review the paperwork, and says that if you are interested, he would very much like to meet you at breakfast this morning. He'll be there with someone he would like you to meet, and if you would be so inclined, around 9:30 to come down to the breakfast area.
That's right. The papers. And then I'm going to go and sit down and look at it and nod my head and get up and go do something else. Like, just not in the mindset for it at the moment. I swear I'm going to come back for it, though. Hopefully in time before the breakfast.
Hopefully.
The 1 hour you have until the breakfast.
What do the rest of you do in the morning? You wake up early enough, late enough? What's your general mood?
I go work out early in the morning this time because apparently I have an actual meeting I need to get to when the moon comes up tonight. I do check my hotel room phone. Is there a light flashing on it? Because I was supposed to have a meeting last night that did not happen due to wolf incursion?
There isn't. However, you see that there is an envelope that has been slipped under your door.
Okay, I check it immediately.
When you open it up, you open the envelope. It's just a phone number scrawled on the inside.
No name, just a number.
Mm-hmm.
I don't call it from my personal phone number. I call it from the hotel room phone. But
I
do call it.
The phone clicks a couple of times. There's no ringtone. And then there's a voice that comes on that says, "Mr. Robinson,
who may I ask am I speaking to?
Please hold." And after a moment, this very terse woman's voice comes out. "Mr. Robinson, my name is Skylar. We were supposed to meet yesterday."
Yes. And then the wolves came.
The wolves.
Oh, were you not around for that part?
I'm afraid I missed whatever lupine activity went on last night. However,
a pack of about 30 wolves made their way into the hotel property, and the group that I am here with, after the pack decided to leave, thankfully without any harm being caused to any of the hotel guests, we decided that it was best that we all go back to our room. I do apologize for missing our meeting. Unfortunately, after the whole ordeal was over, it was way past time for our meeting. It was about midnight by the time the whole thing was resolved.
well, I'll give you points for originality.
I have no reason to lie to you. I don't care enough to. If you wish, we can meet over breakfast.
Very well. Be downstairs at 9. There's no more sound. There's no dial tone, nothing.
Did she say be downstairs at 9 or I'll be downstairs at 9?
No, she said be downstairs at 9, yeah. Oh, yeah, she's giving orders.
Okay. Normally I go with that, but I did not like that. I did not enjoy that from this person who somehow knew when I was in my room as soon as I stepped in. Thankfully, I've already finished my workout, so I am dressed and ready for the day. I am dressed. I am not dressed for like a meeting of people like I was last night. I am back in like what's the temperature of Arizona in this time? It's
hot and dry, which is pretty much the temperature of Arizona.
Yeah, hot and dry. So I have
year round
short sleeve, some joggers, something breathable, but enough to cover skin so that the sun doesn't directly hit me, but I'm not baking.
Mm-hmm.
All of it, of course, is athletic fit, so you can see how hard I work. That was mostly for Alex's reaction. Yeah.
So you will be going down for the breakfast then?
I'll go down for breakfast, yeah.
Excellent. What's Damien doing?
So Damien slept with a chair propped under the doorknob as though that would do anything.
It's still there for what it's worth.
Given that the alternative would be that it wasn't there, I'm glad to hear that. He is just thinking about that man he saw and what the man said to him, and the fact that the sun is coming up. And he also is determined not just to leave, although I think there is a couple of moments where he packs and unpacks and then repacks and then unpacks his bag and does consider getting an Uber and just heading back to the airport. But I think instead, ultimately, what he does is throw on another surprisingly casual outfit of jeans and a t-shirt and a flannel shirt and heads over to the barn.
You are defying the man with the gun.
I am. There's something that matters to me more than that fear.
Good for you. And Kimberly.
Kimberly went to sleep immediately and woke up sometime between 6 and 6:30 a.m. And she immediately checks her email to see if Dr. Kegel emailed her back.
She has.
And, reads it looking for the time mostly.
It's very professional. Very much no acknowledging what happened last night. Just this is a friendly reminder of your 9 a.m. appointment with Dr. Kegel. Please visit us in the Falcon Room.
Perfect. So then she can't get the woman with the dark hair out of her mind and the just sea of black crosses. And so she kind of goes on a little bit of a conspiratorial like Google search looking for mostly symbology, because she hasn't quite, like, this all feels like maybe she had watched a documentary sometime in the last few weeks and is just kind of like trying to jog her memory. She's not making a lot of connections. But if she can come up with a reason as to why she's having these dreams, then when she goes to talk to Dr. Kegel, she can go, oh yeah, it's because I watched this documentary about this thing. She can have like an excuse for why she's having weird dreams. And so she kind of goes on one of those hunts.
So go ahead and give me a wits and learning roll.
Sure.
And I'll say you are tactless, so if ever you need to, tactless, but you are tactless, but tech savvy you have also, so if you need to reroll, you can use that.
An 8.
Very quickly, as you type in details about this woman that you saw, the thing that keeps popping up the most is a Wikipedia, of course, entry on someone named Erish Kigal. In Sumerian mythology, Erish Kigal was the queen of the underworld. She was one of the more significant gods of that mythology.
Okay. And then I think with that information in mind, she just heads to her appointment.
Each of you is heading down to breakfast. Go ahead and roll me a d6 each, please.
Did he stack? Does he stack with the previous day?
No.
Or is it reset? All right. Cool. With a big old 2 that gets taken down to 1.
Sense of belief there.
Rough gig.
You know what? It's from all the internalizing.
You're right. That's what it is.
DeeDee, you arrive down into the breakfast hall. You see Cal Olivier with his traditional turtleneck and sleeves rolled up, and he's sitting at a table, and he's got this older gentleman with him, this old man. You can see, if you look at the owlbear, you'll see pictures of some of the NPCs you were about to meet. There's an old man there that just looks like the kind of guy who, handles money. Olivier sees you, so I will say this: you had time to take a quick look, or did you not take the time to take a quick look?
I skimmed it.
even skimming it, this looks like a great deal.
Okay.
Like one of the main issues that they're having is a question of ownership of what's being stored on the things in the age of AI and all that. Like, that's like one of the big contentions at the center of this thing. And just from your quick glance, honestly, you don't know that much about the adult industry. Um, you've worked in the political field before, so you're not used to an industry that is so clean and honest as the adult industry compared to what you're doing. But even from your limited understanding of things, this should be an easy sell. Like
Okay.
as you were going through it right away, you were like, oh, like you're literally thinking free money. Free money. On top of that, by going through it, you saw how much money is involved in this thing, and it's staggering. So not only could you be getting paid for something that should sell itself, but this might be like a brand new avenue, and you're pretty sure no one here is going to give a fuck about, what was it, a bichon frisé or whatever?
Yes.
No one's going to give a fuck about the bichon frisé here, right? So Olivier sees you, motions you over as you come up. Oh, DeeDee, thank you for coming. This is Stan Counter. He's one of the accountants that's involved in this, and the old man goes, "Pleasure to meet you, Stan Counter. I know, I was born for the job." And he shakes your hand. Have a seat. Have a seat. And he moves over and clear a place for you.
Squeeze right on in. I probably have a copy of those papers too, like on hand. I maybe borrowed a clipboard from behind Bill's desk though.
No problem. Someone will come by, see what you want. The two of them seem to have been here for a while. There's a couple, there's clearly like empty dishes, several cigarettes stubbed out in the, and you're like, cigarettes? People still smoke? It's American guys, people smoke. I deal with it. And so you'll order something, and Kelly's like, please, DeeDee, don't keep me in suspense. I would like to know, have you had an opportunity to look at the proposal that I gave you?
Give it a nice little tap. This is a mighty fine proposal you've made.
I know, and that's why I can't wrap my head around why they don't want it. Do you know how I know it's a good proposal? He doesn't like it. So it's like, what do you want me to tell you? Like I'm more of a get money in and keep it in than a get the money out kind of guy. Call me old-fashioned.
I can see both sides in this case. What is the opposition?
It's a little delicate, and, well, to be honest, this is why I was very glad to see you the other day, and perhaps was hoping that you would agree to help out. The opposition is a very personal one. You see, the person that is leading the negotiations on the other side is Nadia Mitchell. She's a very well-known performer in the industry, and, well, unfortunately, Nadia and I have a bit of a past, and I think perhaps Nadia is having difficulty looking beyond our own difficulties, and is perhaps putting her own desire for, how shall you say, to get back at me ahead of her job, her obligations as the person in charge of the negotiations. I was hoping perhaps you might be able to just cut through that bullshit and get her to see that it is a good offer, because it is a good offer. You said so yourself, right?
Indeed. Unfortunately, to cut through the bullshit, I have to know what the bullshit is. Pray tell, what happened?
Well,
spare no detail.
And he kind of looks at Stan Counter and is like, you wanted this, kid. I told you not to get involved with this business, but, no one listens to old Stan Counter until, the taxman comes, and then it's like, oh, Stan. Well, It's like, well, it's a little delicate, but tell me something, Miss DeeDee. In your former occupation, in the political arena, is where you
Mhm.
worked, yes?
Correct.
Uh, did you have a euphemism for when people would get together and have a lot of sex?
Dude, just start laughing up front. Don't even try to hide it. I'm sure there's plenty of euphemisms for that. I prefer how you put it so bluntly, though. No emotions then, just was strictly fooling about, playing person in playpen.
No, don't get me wrong. Oh no, Naja and I didn't have sex. Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry. Naja is a very very pretty woman. But she's missing something very important that
say no more. Apologies for presuming.
no, it's okay. Um, Unfortunately, um, my partner who runs the business with me, um, well, he acted in a way that wasn't very professional.
I see.
And he, I know for a fact that he did not actually do this, but after they had a thing and that they broke up, he said that he would um, share some of the private things that they did together in public. And well, you can see why we're in this pickle now, because I did not agree with him. And once we found out this was happening, we quickly, we got him out of the company. We didn't want any issues. But my problem is that I think that Naja is correct in being angry. And so I am kind of torn between wanting her to get over it so we can get this deal done, but also I am very fond of Naja, and I think she has a reason for being angry. And so I think that is why perhaps someone who could come in, a third party to come in and explain this, but also say that perhaps we might be willing to help him make reparations as we can. But this is drafted specifically to protect people from this.
I had been taking notes at the mention of reparations. Just go ahead and look on over to Mr. Counter. Do we have something already built out, written to propose?
Well, we got a ballpark figure. But, this shouldn't be about money, right? Like, it should be about doing the right thing, right? Like, no? All right, that's fine.
So,
I get you.
so you work with money all day. I imagine you know it's what makes the world go round, even for just
I
throwing a ballpark number.
keeping the money in, not making the money out. We covered that, right? Look, we're good. He takes a pen, he writes down a number, and he slides it over. He's like, that's our ballpark.
I give it a polite look and keep it with the papers. Give me something to offer.
You think you can do this for us?
I can certainly try. Do best as I can. It is a good deal. Emotions can make things all sorts of funky in a negotiation, though. We should be able to work with it.
As you say that, you see Darius coming into the restaurant. Darius, you walk in, look around. Very difficult to know who you're supposed to talk to. But eventually, a waiter comes up to you and goes, "Mr. Robinson, Miss Skylar and Miss Charlie are waiting for you." And he points out two women sitting at a table, sort of separate from everybody else in kind of a little veranda thing. They're both quite young, very sort of, looking very loose and, like they got nice flowing clothes and they look very kind of comfortable and young and just sort of, hip, like they're not like the sort of corporate stooges you would expect to find heading a company such as Blackstone.
They look like tech startup sisters.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who are the twins on whatever they're on, All in the Family.
Mm. I sit down at
Mr.
the table.
Robinson, I'm Skylar. We spoke on the phone and she extends a hand.
I shake and I say, so that must make you Charlie.
Charlie nods. She's the one with the short hair. She nods. So I says, have you, well, dealt with your lupine issues?
It's not my issue. It's the hotel's issue. It was just an issue for a lot of us. I'm genuinely shocked that you didn't notice since our meeting was at 9:30 and this happened until midnight.
Well, we did inquire if perhaps we'd missed something, but it appears nothing occurred. Are you quite certain that you were in the right frame of mind, Mr. Robinson?
Yes, very much so.
Interesting. Well, let's get this meeting started, shall we? We've, of course, have been aware of you for some time, your work with the military, in the private sector, your own company, of course. Mr. Robinson, what do you want?
That is actually the question I was going to ask you.
Well, I have something I would need done, but before I can know if I can ask you to do it, I need to know what you want so that I can know if I can give it to you.
I don't want for much.
Are you religious, Mr. Robinson?
That depends on the context.
Well, within the context of believing in God or not, are you religious?
Just one? I've traveled the world. There are many faiths. Any could be true. All could be wrong. Who knows? Who am I to say?
I find it difficult sometimes to deal with people who don't have higher faith, because I find that people who lack such faith in a higher being tend to think of themselves as the higher being, and I find that unfortunately makes people less willing to do great work. People who think of themselves primarily as the center of the universe are mostly interested in sating their own appetites and not in achieving something for the greater good. My sister and I are very interested in attempting to achieve something for the greater good. And so, what I would like to know is that something that interests you? Is that something that you want to achieve something great? Or are you simply a mercenary, Mr. Robinson?
You sound so much like an officer right now. Are you trying to manipulate me? Are you trying to sway me, try to make me want to say, oh, no, I'm not just this, I'm just that? I thought this was a business meeting. You've turned it into a religious conversation. Those are not things that should correlate with each other.
I disagree, Mr. Robinson. The very template of um, capitalism is religion. The two are basically the same, built on the same blueprint. It's all about making whatever sacrifices are necessary to appease the god and get its favor. In one case, the god is whatever higher deity you believe in. In the other one, the god is money. But it's the same template. It's the exact same thing. People make sacrifices. People worship. People attempt to gain favor. People attempt to um, gain prestige, be recognized for being more pious or richer or whatever it is. It's the same thing.
I feel like I'm too simple a person, and I don't mean that intellectually. I am a simple man.
Hmm.
I am a guy who knows that I can protect people, and I do that. If I get paid to do so, bully for me. The
Hmm.
fact that I made a company wasn't even my idea. I'm just in the company. But my goal is to lead people to safety. That's all.
Well, then we have something to talk about because were you to accept my offer, that's exactly what you would be doing, only you would be providing safety for a greater number of people than you could ever have dreamed possible. Tell me, Mr. Robinson, would you be willing to kill something for me? Um, as Darius ponders this, we find ourselves across the way, um, outside, in fact. We follow Damien as Damien walks down a pathway heading towards the equestrian center. You arrive there, you see the same cowboy you saw the day before. He's got a different color shirt on. Yesterday was red, today it's blue, and he says howdy. And he's busy, dressing on the horses again and, getting them ready. Um, you notice almost right away, you see Grayson in the stables, putting Arvaker back in his stall.
Damien is going to approach Grayson and try to be as casual as possible.
Oh, hi.
Hey, good morning.
Uh, you're just in time. Do you want to brush Arvaker down?
Sure, I would. Yes, I would love that. If it's not an imposition.
Oh, no, it's fine. Brush is just over there. You know your way around horses then.
Somewhat. My family has been more on the legal side of things, but I've spent some time at the barn, and he goes and very easily gets a curry comb and a hard brush and starts going to work.
So your family are lawyers? Is that what you're telling me?
Unfortunately, uh, yeah.
So how did you come to learn how to tend horses?
Can I tell you a secret?
If you want to.
It makes it sound bigger than it is. I don't know. I don't really care about all of the talk of money changing hands and all of that stuff that lawyers get involved in when expensive horses are being sold. I just like to hang around the barn. And when I wasn't being asked to listen and learn my father's trade, I would just hang out with the horses. And I pretty quickly learned that that was what I liked a bit more.
So I assume Is this something you want to do then, or my? I would think you're. Well, I don't know. I don't want to presume anything, but how's your family feel about this? Are they supportive of your interest in this, or?
No, they don't really have any idea. I'm in school studying pre-law and gearing up to apply to law schools next year.
Why?
Well, I mean, because I need to get a job and make good money. I mean, that's what my dad always says.
Your dad always tells the truth, right? Can I tell you a secret in exchange?
Yeah, of course.
My parents, great lovers of horses. They built their ranch, their own hands, sweated their brow, a lot of hard work. Ranching in New Hampshire is not the, golden business that you would think it is at first blush. But they worked it hard. They built themselves a fairly decent place. We more of a dressage type of school rather than an actual ranch. Yeah, but and then they died. And when they died, they left a good chunk of the place to me. But my father's brother, Stephen, had also helped build the place, and so he got a share of it. Now, I don't know if you picked up any of the brochures in the lodge, but the reason why we're here this week, bunch of ranchers from New Hampshire, is because we're trying to find ways to help each other out of very difficult times. My uncle Stephen and his wife Hetty, they're pretty much set on selling the place to get their money. I offered to buy them out, but I don't have any money whatsoever. There's no money in this, what we're doing. Breaking even's about the best that we can do. And I got to be honest with you, I love the ranch, but I am absolutely terrible at running it. Devastatingly so, in fact.
I mean, I'd be happy to look at the paperwork, at what the finances are looking like. I can't imagine that there isn't a way to salvage this, Grayson. It's clear you really care about the ranch. I can see that, and I can see that in the way you look at your horse.
Well, in fact, if there's one thing I love more than when my parents built, it is our Valker. You wouldn't know this, but our Valker had a brother. Alsvither. My problem is not one that you can fix, because my problem is that part of what my Uncle Stephen got is Arvaker. He owns Arvaker completely. And he has offered to give him to me, as long as I let him sell the rest of the ranch.
That doesn't seem fair to use that kind of leverage.
I can't blame him. He worked hard. He wants what money he can get out of it. But I mean, I need the money from the ranch also. Like I said, it's not a lot. We break even, but it's something. So there's a little conflict there, because my head, of course, tells me one thing. My heart tells me another. But I mean, as someone who has nothing but a horse, considered homeless.
It's
Anyways,
amazing that you would. I mean, I can understand, but it's amazing that you would give up everything for Arvaker.
that's the problem, is that I think I can't. I think I have to let him go. There are My parents built that thing. It's all I have left of them. It's their memory entirely is in that place. If I let it go, if I let them sell it, it feels like I'm betraying them to satisfy my own personal desire.
I mean, what were your parents like? What would they want for you, Grayson?
I don't know. It's hard to sort that out sometimes. You don't happen to speak to the dead, do you?
I'd speak to a lot of things I didn't realize I could, but no, the dead aren't one of them.
It's probably a good thing. I would imagine they're probably pretty salty people.
I mean, I don't know. I think that depends on what you believe.
Kimberly, I have a question for you, says Dr. Kegel.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to ask this. I know that part of why you came to us in the first place was difficulty finding the next step, finding what do you do now? Your identity perhaps wrapped so long in things that you had to do as a mother or wife, a teacher. I would like to do a little exercise with you if you agree.
Sure. Yeah.
I would like you to imagine that you have the power, magical, perhaps, or technological if needs be, but the power to see into the future. If you could see into your future, if you could look ahead without any restrictions whatsoever, without any judgment, without any pressure from friends, family, society, so on and so forth, without any need to worry about money or paying your mortgage or any of these things. What would you see yourself being? I'm sorry, what would you see yourself doing?
Oh gosh. I think I think I'm retired. Superintendent, of course, but retired. And for the first time, I'm relaxing. You know, hopefully my kids have found partners and are, you know, have their own kids, and maybe I can go visit, sit on the front porch as I watch my grandkids run around in the front yard, and I think just kind of be. I feel like the last 7 years have been so much about my kids, of course, and raising them and being there for them, but also providing for them and advancing in my career. And I just kind of forgot about myself and my hobbies. So I think I would just, you know, finally learn how to cook that incredible apple pie I had from that Vermont bakery. And
Who would you cook it for, though? You're alone.
well, I don't really see a partner. So my kids, if they would let me, or any friends I happen to make along the way.
Kimberly, why wasn't your answer to that question for myself?
Well, you know, I just, that's fair. I guess I just like to have people around.
I'm going to say words to you. I'm going to give you a chain of words, 2 words. Then I want you to tell me what the third one is.
Okay.
Whatever the first thing that comes to your mind. Whatever you think goes there. Ready?
Sure.
Daughter. Mother.
Father.
Why?
Honestly, they rhyme, but I know there's probably a better reason. Um, oh gosh, you got me on this one.
You think there's a trick here, that this is a trap of some sort?
No, I think it's, we're unlocking things. I think I have. Yeah, I feel like every time I talk to you, I something new. I think
Close
maybe
your
I have.
eyes. Close your eyes, Kimberly.
Okay.
I want you to close your eyes. I want you to visualize yourself. I want you to imagine in as much detail as you can who you are and what you look like. I want you to take a moment to think about it. And I want you to describe to me what you see when you think of yourself in your mind. What is the visual image you have?
I see a middle-aged woman middle height, 5'5", 5'6". Wearing a very nice tailored 3-piece suit. Very good at keeping, pressed. Short cropped hair. Glasses. And a smile from eye to eye.
When you open your eyes, you see that Dr. Kegel's not there. You're in a vast white room. Kneeling in front of you are the 3 women you've seen before. One of them looks at you and says, "Daughter." The other one next to her says, "Mother." And the third one says, "God." You feel yourself floating. You open your eyes. You are in some sort of natural pool in a cave. You're floating, just you naked, floating. Don't hear anything. No sound. It's kind of dark. You're walking in the desert. There's hot wind, dust blowing in your face. The sun is cooking your skin almost. You see the field of black crosses, and at the other side is that woman, Ershkigal. You are walking towards her, and as you walk, you see their names written on the crosses. Damien, Darius, Bernadette, Molly. You are floating. You hear kids, people splashing, people talking. You open your eyes, you're on this floating chair in the middle of the pool. Outside where the event took place last night. The sun's pretty high. It's sometime in the afternoon. You feel like you've been laying out here for a while. Your skin's getting that kind of pinching feel when you've been out in the sun too long. You feel like you're waking up from a long slumber. What do you do?
If I look around, is there anyone else?
Full
At
of
the
people around the
poolside.
pool, people swimming, people sunbathing.
And does it feel like I have a gap between talking to Dr. Kegel and arriving here?
No, it kind of feels like you've arrived here naturally.
And I look down. Am I wearing a bathing suit?
Yeah, you are. And when you kind of straighten up on this floating thing, it kind of, kind of goes like this a little bit, and your laptop, which was in your lap, falls into the water and sinks down all the way to the bottom.
I think immediately her heart starts racing. That's, her work, her livelihood. But she doesn't immediately jump up. She just kind of watches it fall to the bottom of the pool and looks around to see if anyone else saw that, like if
There's
anyone else kind of recognized
a woman sitting nearby on the edge of the pool. She has long orange flamed hair. She's wearing a bikini. She's got her feet in the water, and she looks at you and she goes, "Leave it. It's cancer."
Oh, yeah, I thought about jumping in, but I feel like I've spent too much time on it since I got here.
Tell me about it. It's actually my job. You notice something strange. It's realizing it now, but there's a lot of people around with cameras with ring lights talking into them. Some people are taking pictures of, kind of where they are. There's someone somewhere like talking into a camera and whatnot. And there's a woman who keeps positioning herself like she's reading a book very casually. And there's someone who's taking photos of her on an iPhone. And there's a lot of these people around right now.
Are you I don't remember all of the folks who are here right now. Are you also in I think they're called influencers?
I guess you could say that.
Oh. And how do you like it?
It's fine enough, I guess. I don't think I'm the kind of influencer you're thinking of, though. Instagram, things like that. I'm more of a, influence men to drop their pants and give me their credit card number kind of business.
Oh my. Well,
I'm sorry, was that shocking? I'm not used to. I don't talk to a lot of people not in the business, so sometimes I forget that not everyone,
I'm just I'm not
You're a school teacher, right? Let me guess.
yeah, I don't do the World Wide Web.
Well, honey, where I come from, the World Wide Web does you.
Well, and she is just beet red, like flush to the cheeks. I'm really glad that's working for you. Yeah.
My name's Nadja. What's your name?
Kimberly. It's very nice to meet you.
Pleasure's mine. How about we go and have a drink to the death of your fucking laptop? Would you like that? You seem like a nice person. Come on, I promise not to make any more, sex jokes.
I would, we let the laptop die. Whatever you need to joke about. It's like a vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what my DeeDee always said. So
your DeeDee?
Yeah.
Your daughter?
Yeah. No, she's here with me. She's actually the daughter of my next door neighbor. Yeah.
Oh, DeeDee. Interesting. Well, come on then. And we'll come back and get that later. Even if it's in the water, someone could go in there and get all those personal photos of you. So we'll come back and fish it out later.
Oh my. Like of my kids with me?
That's exactly what I was talking about, Kimberly.
Oh, yeah. That would, I don't know what they would do with that, but sure.
Let's go have a drink. I'll tell you all about it.
Yeah. I'll take us sex on the beach. Oh.
By the end of today, you'll have your OnlyFans set up. Come on.
Oh, is that like a you buy things website?
Yes, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I could really use a new air conditioner.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
DeeDee, you are finishing up your breakfast. So, is it okay then? Do we have a deal? Will you talk to Nadja and try to sort this out for us?
Absolutely. Consider it done.
Excellent. Right, I got. I'm afraid I have to go. I have a meeting. Stan goes, yeah, I got somebody to meet too. I go see a man about a horse. Pleasure meeting you, DeeDee. Shakes
A
your
gentleman,
hand.
truly.
And he leaves. Don't mind Stan. He's a little abrasive, but he's good at what he does. And he was here anyways with the accountants. So it just worked out well for us. Listen, you have my phone number. Do what you can. Give it a good go. And if it works, great. If not, then you get paid anyways. And I appreciate the help.
Well, I fancy myself quite good at what I do, so hopefully reputation holds.
Oh, I've only heard great things. And I thought the Bisham Mate joke was very funny. So,
Well, thank you. I also thought it was quite funny, but some people can't take a joke.
well, that is the world we live in. I really have to go. Thank you, DeeDee. Thank you so much. And as he gets up and goes, you see sitting just like 10 feet away from you across the little restaurant area, you see the man you saw last night sitting there looking at you.
I imagine I have a cup of coffee, black, that just got reheated up. Great, refilled.
Mhm.
And I'll just grab it and go take a spot, go take a seat right next to him.
Hello, DeeDee.
Hello, stranger.
You wound me.
Hmm?
You wound me. We're not so strangers, you and I.
And yet I don't have a name to call you by, so stranger you shall be.
You can call me Numbers.
Is that a family name?
No, it's kind of what I do,
Nickname, then.
if you like.
What's the deal? Why are you staring?
Because I don't like you.
Well, what did I do to you? I tend to keep track of that.
Well, for one thing, you very often make a liar out of me. And I hate that. Because if there's one thing I am not, is a liar. I always tell the truth, whether people like it or not.
All I've ever been good at is showing folks the other side of things. Seems as if perhaps you should work harder to show the truth of it all.
Yeah, but because of people like you, DeeDee, fucking liars. People who live and breathe deceit, who live and breathe manipulation, who literally make it their life's work to obfuscate the truth, or rather, to make things tell the story they want to tell. That is literally the lowest form of life. You are a destroyer, DeeDee. You sow chaos wherever you go. Everything you touch, DeeDee, falls apart at the mere mention of your name. Entire systems built by people far more intelligent than you crumble. You, DeeDee, are a fucking cancer.
I hope you don't mind. That is by far the least offensive thing someone's told me in quite some time. Although don't get me wrong, I fancy myself a destroyer. Really? Truly? Promise? It's not my fault. I show people a side. They can make up their own mind. They can use that cute little pink brain of theirs.
You don't believe that, do you? I mean,
I don't.
You're dumb, but you're not that dumb, right?
I don't lie.
I'm
I
sorry.
ask questions.
I'm going to need a moment here.
Take two.
Did you just say you don't lie? Your entire existence is a lie. Your entire existence is about lies. Do you never stop to wonder why people fucking hate you? When was the last time you felt someone truly liked you, truly welcomed you into their lives? What? Please give me a name of someone who has voluntarily wanted you in their lives for something other than the lies, your ability
Mhm.
to manipulate truth, or your ability to suck someone off.
Oh, because your mother with that mouth, my goodness. What higher value is there?
Order, structure.
Boring.
Without order, without structure, we go right back to the void, right back where we come from, right back where the rest of us are clawing to get away from. Clawing and building and striving to get away from the swirling mass of chaos that existed before everything else, that prevented life, that prevented growth, that prevented achievements, accomplishments. You are that very hole into which all good things disappear.
I lean back in my chair, calmly sipping from my little coffee cup as he goes off. Sounds like you should build better, my friend.
Well,
If someone
you'll
as
be.
dumb as me can take you down, I don't think you're building that strong.
May I pay you a compliment, DeeDee?
You haven't so far.
Well, may I now?
By all means.
I have taken the liberty of taking a page from your book, DeeDee, because it came to me suddenly, as if in a dream, while I was watching the stars through the roof of a temple. What better way to fight chaos than with chaos, two negatives opposing each other? Would you mind retrieving your phone?
I imagine it's on my person.
He leans back. I assume you have access to your bank account.
Yes. Password 1. Guess.
Do you say that?
No, I'm not saying. Just pull up the app and
Okay.
and check out what's happening.
So you have a fair amount of money. You've made some good money, and as you turn, you start seeing the numbers go down, and they're going down, and they're going down, and they're going down, and at the end, the last few numbers become the letters FUCKYOU.
Well,
I want you, DeeDee,
here now.
to stay. Don't flatter yourself. I've seen.
Take your time.
I'm not going to go
please.
down that road.
Mhm.
I want you to stay away from this deal that you've been hired to work on. I need you to stay away from it because I need it to succeed. And if you get involved, it will fail. Like everything else in your life, DeeDee. Everything else that you've touched, it will fall apart. And I need it to succeed. I need that deal to go through. So you're going to stay away from it because if you don't, I will make you regret it. I will bring such a sense of order to your world that it will make you implode. And remember what I told you last night. Numbers don't lie.
I'd like to get up at this point, leaving coffee cup there, reaching over and giving his cheek a little pat. I've touched you now, so good luck with all that. And I will go ahead and walk away.
As you walk away, Darius, Skylar saying, "Oh, well, isn't that interesting? That there's the man I would like you to kill."
Well, that escalated because it went from something to someone to a man.
Hmm. Man
You
was
realize
just
I'm not.
a way of speaking, but don't fool
I'm,
yourself
I'm not an assassin.
yet.
Excuse me?
Back in the stables, you're stepping out, and we're just about done here. I know Jaqulin has to go soon. We're just about done. You're stepping out of the stables with Grayson, and he's saying, "Would you um, like to have dinner tonight?"
I mean, I would love that, but is now the best time for that for you?
I
Just
mean,
given everything?
I'm going to meet someone now, and one way or the other, I guess it'll be decided by that point. So I'll either need to celebrate or I'll need cheering up.
Then yes, I would love to have dinner with you, Grayson.
Well, that went better than I could have expected.
You thought I would say no?
Well, I wasn't sure. Um, uh, I'm kind of a mess, and oftentimes people are a little wary, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe I like mess.
That should be my first red flag, I guess.
Yeah, I think actually out of the two of us, I mean, you met me having stolen your horse covered in blood. I think I'm definitely the red flag.
I don't think so. But, you saved my horse, so I owe you at least as much. I'll tell you what, though. You can buy dinner since, well, I'm pretty much broke. And you're loaded, Mr. Big Shot Lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer yet, but I'd be happy to cover dinner for the two of us.
All right, then. 8?
8 sounds perfect. Are you sure you don't want me there for the meeting? I know I'm not a lawyer, but I know something about numbers and I know something about legal contracts.
No. No, it's honestly, it's gonna break my heart to have to give our Valkyr away, and I don't think um quite ready for you to, you know, see the ugly display of emotion that's very likely to bring from me. So, yeah, maybe we'll just save that one for the second date.
That sounds fair, Grayson. I hope it doesn't come to that. Wait, you said second date?
And as you say that, you hear a voice behind you that says, "I told you I would kill you." Kimberly.
I'll go back.
Kimberly. You've been having a few drinks with this lovely young woman who's very intelligent and very, very articulate, and keeps the sex jokes to a minimum, and so you feel kind of comfortable. And
There probably are lots of sex jokes that she doesn't grasp that are probably slipping
just
under the
kind of
table.
fly
Yeah, absolutely.
over your head. And she says, so you're all here dealing with this grief thing then? Is that
Oh,
like I don't know.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a lot of sense for me. Like, why do you want
Well,
to do that in a group? Like, that's like icky. I mean,
oh
I
no,
guess
no,
people would
no.
say that about some of the stuff I've done in a group, but
Well, I think that there is something comforting about talking through your emotions with others who feel very similarly. And that's what we've been doing online for the last few months. And then it felt natural to try to kind of come together just a couple days and, you know, talk it out in person.
to what end? Like, isn't grief just something you kind of have to go through? And they're like, whatever, 5 or 6 or 7 stages or something, and then you kind of feel better?
Oh, actually, uh, that's a falsification of the grief process. You can actually feel all of those stages at any time and in any order, and sometimes it's on repeat. You kind of just it's more about learning how to hold the grief rather than letting it hold you.
So here's a weird question. Do you think that people who die then feel grief for themselves, like wherever they're going after? Like, is that too metaphysical? Am
Oh,
I just, I mean, I had a huge spliff before we started talking, so maybe I'm just kind of not completely making sense, but
is that like food?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's
oh,
like,
that sounds lovely.
yeah, it's like a, well, it's a, it's like a salad.
Oh, I love salad.
Mm,
Um,
uh, I'll bring you some. Yeah, do you like think that people who die then are somewhere where they can feel grief for their, like, would you feel grief for your own death? Like you said,
mm,
one of your friends is here because he lost a horse, someone lost their job,
yes,
someone lost a
yes.
friend.
Mm,
You're worried about the fact that I don't know, are you grieving the loss of your family? Are you grieving the loss of yourself? That's interesting. Are you
yeah.
grieving your own loss? Is that what you're doing?
Oh, um, I don't know if I really thought about it that way. I think I always thought it was that I didn't really grieve my husband properly, but maybe it's more I'm grieving that I'm not me really anymore. I don't choose myself. So maybe you're right. Maybe that is I think to answer your first question, I think that it you absolutely could grieve for yourself. I think if you believe in the afterlife, which I know lots of people with lots of different beliefs and lots of different,
But
where that's going.
maybe even if you just sort of lost yourself. Like, look, Nadia is not even my real name. My real name's Joanne.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Um,
that's so pretty.
oh, thank you, Kimberly. I like Kimberly too. It's very nice.
Thank you. That is my real name.
But in my industry, you don't use your real name, or most people don't.
Mm,
People are not interested in the real you. They're interested in whatever you're putting in front of them. So you build
mhm,
that, but in some
mhm.
ways, you're kind of building this new life, this new face, this new persona, and
Identity.
yeah, right. And then
Yeah.
I see a lot of people in my business who kind of lose track of who they were before, and then it's hard to get back to that, to get
Mm.
back to that, true self in some ways. And I can I share a morbid thought I often have with you?
Sure, absolutely.
I've seen people, friends and coworkers and things like that, people who do kind of the same thing I do, or like these people here, these influencers, as you were saying earlier.
Mm,
Some of them have died. There was, the whole pandemic thing and so on and so forth, and some
mm,
people
right.
passed away. And I remember going to a few funerals in a row, and at some point it seemed like it was just this cavalcade of funerals and it was never ending. And I remember being next to someone that I thought was a close friend of mine, next to their casket, they were lying there looking kind of plastic and strange. And I remember seeing a name on the little thing they put on the casket. And for a moment, I thought I was at the wrong place because that was not her name. But turns out it was her name.
Mm.
And then I thought, am I going to have to die too to figure out for someone to write my real name? For someone to remember what my real name is? And Kimberly, you feel a hand on your shoulder.
I turn to look in the direction.
You see the woman that you've been seeing in your visions. And she says, it's time to die, Kimberly. And on that note, see, there's Grayson.
Well, that's what we were all concerned about, Bleak.
Cool.
Thank you so much, my friends. Hey, Scottish Chef. Yeah, pretty much. Thanks. Yeah, Adrian knows my trademarks. And on that note, thank you so much, everyone, for being here and participating in this little weirdness with me. I appreciate it.